Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a corridor of stone, columns rising on either side, sunlight slanting through carved apertures, and a bell far ahead, thin, bright, sustained, ringing into a space cut from rock. What does that bell tell us about the people who built this place? And how do we learn to listen to a ruin the way someone once heard a living temple?
Ah, that's a lovely opening. The sound itself becomes an entry point, an oral doorway into history. The layers matter: stone, layout, ritual, and the people moving through those spaces. The research tells us that architecture isn't silent. It was shaped to hold voice and music.
Let's sit with that. When you step into a long gallery at Angkor Wat, the air seems to fold around sound. Voices bloom. A drum breathes differently than it would outdoors. Those sensations are intentional in some cases and emergent in others, but they're all meaningful.
Right. And the architecture sets the script for sound. A narrow gallery emphasizes resonance. A wide plaza gives instruments room to layer. Doorway spacing, stone thickness, and carved surfaces change how a chant decays. From a cultural standpoint, these choices shape ritual experience.
I want to pull apart a couple of features that archaeology and acoustics help us read.
Wait, say more about resonance.
First, resonance. Some spaces behave like big musical instruments. A low drone hangs longer than you'd expect. Second, reflection. Flat stone walls send sound back, so a chant can seem to come from everywhere at once. Third, aperture. Small windows or carved openings act like filters, subtly coloring timbre.
And orientation matters too. Sanctuaries facing certain directions change how sound travels with wind and daylight. Take Bayan with its many faces. Sound could be localized, one voice in a tower, another answering from a gallery. So the temple's sonic map matched its visual complexity.
I'm not going to romanticize this. I'm not sure I buy casual claims that every space was designed for music like a modern concert hall. Many decisions were structural or symbolic. That tension between intentional shaping of sound and practical building matters.
I don't either. Well, not wholesale. But I will say this. Some features look accidental until you test them. In one courtyard near Bayan, a shallow recess lengthened low tones in a way that seems unlikely to be accidental.
Give me that detail.
The recess is roughly 2 meters deep, and when researchers played a low gong there during controlled tests, the decay time nearly doubled compared with the open courtyard. That suggests builders noticed, and sometimes used, these acoustic effects alongside structural needs.
Exactly. So it's a mix. Some acoustic results were byproduct, others were observed and incorporated. That makes interpretation fun and tricky. We need archives and local memory to tell us which is which.
On archives, historic mid-20th century field recordings in national and university collections, including files catalogued by institutions like the École Française d'Extrême-Orient, help us hear timbre and tempo. They don't recreate an 11th century ritual, but they give texture, how a bell rings, how a chorus breathes.
Those recordings are invaluable. I remember an elder in Siem Reap tapping a lintel and saying, "Hear how it keeps the chant." That image stuck with me. Small acts like that keep sonic memory alive across generations.
And the instruments themselves shape meaning. Bells and small gongs cut through open air. Conch shells signal movement. Frame drums mark communal time. Court ensembles used specific textures for procession, ritual, and narrative performance, so instrument choice mattered as much as placement.
Picture 3 layers in a temple: a distant bell, a mid-distant drum, and a close-spoken voice. Each occupies space differently. Try that with me now, briefly. Press play on any bell sample you have for 4 seconds. Close your eyes and imagine it in a long gallery. Notice whether the sound feels near or far. Hold that for about 20 seconds, then open your eyes.
Good. While listeners do that, a quick note on ethics. Some chants and processional sounds are tied to particular families or temple communities. When researchers or composers work with these materials, consent and attribution are essential. We must avoid turning sacred practice into spectacle.
Right, respect first. And yet there are creative, community-led projects that listen and then experiment. I've seen ensembles play a gong at the base of a column to learn how the column colors the sound. Not to perform for tourists, but to document and teach local musicians how spaces behave.
Exactly. Practice as research is powerful. It offers embodied knowledge. Musicians learn by doing, and caretakers decide what should be shared. That's a form of community-driven preservation that keeps traditions alive without objectifying them.
Let's bring that back to visitors. If you're at Angkor or another sacred site, listen before you speak. Avoid loud, intrusive behavior and consider supporting local musicians or archives. And if you record, ask permission and be clear about how the recording will be used.
A short example of respectful engagement. A small research team worked with a temple custodian to document chant sequences. The custodian set boundaries, what could be recorded, who could listen, and in return, the team provided copies of cleaned recordings to the temple. That reciprocity matters.
We promised practical takeaways, so here are 3 quick ones. 1. Practice active listening. Try the bell exercise again when you have a minute. 2. Seek out paired resources. Look for video or images alongside field recordings so you can place sound in space. 3. Share observations, not just audio clips. Explain what you heard and why it mattered.
And one small listening prompt you can use on social media. Post a 20-second note describing whether a bell felt inside the space or outside you. Explain why you think that happened. Was it resonance, reflection, or imagination? Tag it with hashtag Temple Soundscapes so contributors can compare experiences.
We'd love to hear those. We plan to highlight listener contributions in an upcoming episode, short clips or notes that help us map perception across ears and places. Share on Twitter or Instagram, or post a short clip and tag my YouTube channel so we can link sound and sight.
Before we close, a final thought. The layers matter. Carved stone, human breath, and ritual timing knit together into a lived sonic world. Listening carefully helps us understand architecture, memory, and community practice all at once.
If today's episode gave you a new way to hear Angkor, please follow Ancient Echoes on your favorite podcast app and subscribe to my YouTube channel for the visual and audio pairings we mentioned. Share your listening notes or a short 20-second clip with hashtag Temple Soundscapes. Let's unlock the echoes of history together.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Ancient Echoes. We hope these stories and prompts helped you hear Cambodian heritage in a deeper, more human way. Listen closely. There's always more to discover in the spaces between stone and sound.
Thank you for joining us. Connect with us via the show notes for links to archives, field recordings, and Samnang's visual guides. We'll be back soon with another story from Cambodia's rich tapestry.
In the quiet of night, I whispered my plea, holding her close, hoping for her decree. I called upon spirits, asked them to guide, to take her heart and lead her by my side. So I drew her near, traced her brow so fair, on my sight this way. Sacred power, Swahai, mighty spirit awakened. By the master's right, let her heart be gently taken. Let her follow me now by vow and by sign. I hear these words, oh teacher, witness this plea. Oh, my sacred power, Swahai.